There's at least two. That one in uniform, that's the one that really pledges it. That 1800s. Oh, that feather. I'm glad you had an outfit like that at home to wear. It fits you well. You look good in it. But thank y'all. I appreciate you gentlemen for allowing us to be a part of this.
Absolutely.
Keep your heritage burning here.
All right, Chief Head, Bruce Wilcox. Bruce, what we got going on?
All right, good evening, everyone. On behalf of Greater Paducah Economic Development, as always, we thank you for the opportunity to come and do an update to you. Looking back through my notes, it's only been 2 months since I was here last time. So I think last time I was here around December 15th, something like that. We were just coming off of a Heinz Furlong announcement. Heinz Furlong announced a $10 million expansion here in Paducah that we worked with them and the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development on. So we were very happy to do that. So typically things slow down over the holiday seasons. That's just been the exact opposite this year. So we have been exceptionally busy, busier than any time I can ever remember since I've been here, maybe in the history of GPED. Since we last met, we co-hosted in our community the Department of Energy Artificial Intelligence Industry Day on December 18th. We had approximately 75 people from across the nation come to Paducah, and then there were about 40 to 50 online to learn more about the former Paducah gaseous diffusion site, the utility infrastructure, et cetera, things about the community, our workforce, community offerings, those types of things. So we were very appreciative to have the opportunity to participate in that. From that, those prospective companies submitted requests for offers to the Department of Energy. Those were due and submitted January 30th. I think from talking with individuals within the Department of Energy, there might have been somewhere around 17 submissions, ranging from very small companies up to large, very large companies that participated in that. So we anticipate a decision or an announcement from DOE on who they anticipate partnering with for the large-scale AI data centers very soon. So I think it will be reasonable to expect we would see data centers constructed on site, maybe even some new power generation via natural gas, and with a longer-term vision to produce power with nuclear energy. As I've said on numerous occasions before, we've got a unique site, probably the only one in the United States that has 4 power generation companies with transmission infrastructure into the site. And then also in the heart of the Mid-Continent Independent Systems Operator Network. So I think those two things combined make the electricity option of it unlike no other in the country. And then it's about 7 miles. Yes?
Well, I thought you were moving on to another topic. So we haven't actually been selected yet. We're just one of the 4
That's one of the misnomers. So, yeah. You know, if you would pay attention to what the media says, or however it comes about, it would lead you to believe that we have been awarded and we have been selected for an artificial data intelligence center. That is not the case yet. I will be extremely surprised if a project is not announced, but there has not been a formal site or a formal announcement yet, but I fully anticipate one coming very soon.
Okay. Thank you.
Again, another one of the attributes that makes the site very positive for large-scale AI is the proximity to the trunkline natural gas line. There's a tremendous amount of unsubscribed natural gas there to stand up new natural gas power generation. And then there is an existing 30 million gallon per day water pump that was permitted when the PGDP, the Paducah Gaseous Diffusion Plant, was in operation. Many people talk about the amount of water that data centers use. The thing that usually doesn't get disclosed, though, is many of these data centers, the ones I've talked to, use what's called a closed-loop system. So other than the initial drawdown of water into the site, once the water is into the facility, it's in a closed loop system and it recirculates.
So the water's being used to keep things cool.
To keep things cool, yeah. So it's not like it's using an astronomical amount of water per day or emitting effluent into.
And we don't know whether they're going to use a closed loop system on the design here, but that's what you would anticipate, or is that just almost
again,
always?
yeah, we don't know who the ultimate winner will be, but those I have talked to, they use a closed loop system. And I think that's probably what we'll see. The site, it's already zoned heavy industrial, which is ideally situated for, people talk about the noise that's emitted from those. So, that's not going to be an issue. And then, I would add also that it's on an existing brownfield site. People might have issue or have concern about the number of jobs that are created. In my opinion, whether it's 100, 200, 300, 400, whatever the number is, by locating that many jobs on an existing brownfield site, that's a slam dunk. It's a home run win for the community. As far as the number of jobs, I've heard anywhere from 0.2 jobs per megawatt up to 0.4 or 0.5. So, on 1,000 megawatts or a gig, I wouldn't think it would be unreasonable to expect 200 or more full-time jobs.
So talk to me a little bit about that brownfield site. What exactly does that mean?
So the Paducah Gaseous Diffusion Plant, it's a Superfund site from the uranium enrichment activities that happened there over about a 75-year period. Mm-hmm. So whenever there has been industry located on a site historically, and there's nothing there now, it's called a brownfield site.
Gotcha.
So, it could be bare land, but it has a brownfield site characteristic to it. As I've mentioned, in the media's picked it up before, with it being a Superfund site, it's probably one of the most reviewed, analyzed sites in the country as far as safety goes and environmental issues.
And to clarify another issue, they have to provide their own power source from day one, is that right?
Correct.
That's one of the things that there was a media report that kind of maybe didn't make that clear, and then
Correct.
There's stuff on the internet that doesn't make that clear. But
that's correct.
But from day one, they have to provide their own power. They're not going to take it from me or you or Jackson Purchase. They have to have, wherever they get it, it's not going to take from the existing production. They have to produce their own from day one.
They would have to produce or pay for their power.
Right.
So, one of the benefits is it being in the heart of MISO, the Mid-Continent Independent Systems Operator Network, and we've talked about that hourglass shape and the transmission infrastructure that goes through the site. MISO has about 200,000 megawatts of installed capacity, and on any given day, there's 70,000 to 115,000 megawatts utilized. So depending upon the activity within the network, there is power available amongst all of those power companies that participate into MISO to funnel more power into the site. So the data center would be responsible for paying for transmission system upgrades, new power generation, et cetera, such that it does not impact existing operators.
So they may buy from
Pardon?
They may buy power from the MISO grid.
They very well could. I think they would on an interim basis while they're standing up new power generation.
And you said there's a gas line going through?
It's there's natural gas already to the site, but certainly not enough to stand up a new power generation facility. The trunk line natural gas line is about 7 miles west of the site, which to stand up a new combined cycle natural gas power plant, you would have to put a new pipeline in to facilitate that demand.
Well, I've not seen the contract, may not, but Tim Walsh, the EM1, the Deputy Secretary to Environmental Management, told us in a meeting that a requirement of the lease of whoever's selected will be that they generate their own power. That's correct. Maybe initially they would have to take it off the grid, but at least the intention is that they not do that for the long term. They have to produce their own. And I think, were you in that?
Yes.
Yeah, you were in that meeting in D.C. with he and some of the upper officials in environmental management, and so it doesn't create the supply and demand problem that mass consumer electricity would to make power rates go up. So I believe him when he says that, and I think we'll see that happens. And then, of course, he also said, as you did, then after when we start seeing the SMRs, the small modular reactors, being more popular and more affordable and being built up more, that there be not one but multiple SMRs here to generate the power for that, and then we'll see what happens after that.
Very possible. I think there's a situation as well where the power plant could be overbuilt for the demand of the data center to be actually a net contributor into the grid, to stabilize the grid, to accommodate additional future electricity demand as well. I do.
That would be an opportunity then for our co-op or the city power to set more power.
Yes.
Or I guess KU or TVA if they took.
Yes. You even have a situation with Paducah Power. We were involved with them with some cryptocurrency Bitcoin projects. Paducah Power has actually taken a portion of the profits generated from those types of relationships and shown it as a power purchase adjustment or a credit to the existing ratepayers. So it's actually had the exact opposite effect of what often is reported into the media. Now, I can't say what the situation within the DOE site will be with the AI stuff, but that's what we've seen on existing projects, particularly with Paducah Power.
Still looking at as you're looking at the plant, meaning the old Paducah gaseous diffusion plant, they're looking at the property on the left side.
Correct. Southwest and northwest portion. And it's in an area that's never been industrialized. So even though it's characterized as a brownfield site, it's never had any industrial activity on it at all. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
We've also hosted February 19th. The Department of Energy had expressions of interest due for the remediation of nickel at the DOE site. There's approximately 9,700 tons of contaminated nickel there on the site. We hosted a couple of different companies that were going to submit expressions of interest on that. We hope to hear some news on that in the not too distant future as well. January 15th, I participated in the Kentuckians for Better Transportation event in Lexington with McCracken County Riverport Authority. Jimmy Garrett, we did a presentation along with BFW on the new proposed Riverport West. As Judge Clymer mentioned, there was a small group of us that went to D.C. and met with a number of elected officials, the Department of Energy, EPA, et cetera, Department of Transportation, updating them. Last week, I participated in the Energy Technology Business Association in Lexington with the Department of Energy doing a presentation on our site, and then we've also hosted a number of supply chain partners in the nuclear fuel supply chain as well since we met last time. So we have a tremendous amount of activity going on. I'm really encouraged about what we have going on, and I look forward to sharing a whole lot more with you in executive sessions on some of the project specifics. Happy to entertain other questions.
So we're going to meet here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
All good?
Good.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you, Bruce.
Right. Thank you.
Hopefully we won't be too long. Let's see, tabled from prior meeting. Oh, did I skip something? Oh, I sure did. Humane Society, Tracy Phelps. About to skip right over you, Tracy.
Good evening. Thank you guys for having me. In case you don't know who I am Tracy Phelps. I'm the Executive Director of the Humane Society. I have been Director since 2021. I do have a statement that I would like to read, if it's okay with you guys, and then after I'm done reading, I'd welcome any questions that you guys have. I'm thinking that some of this that I read will answer some of the questions that you've had previously. Our board president, Mark Whitlow, and board vice president, Sheila Johnston, are out of town. They do regret that they can't be here. I've watched the fiscal court meeting from last time where our contract was discussed, and then I'd like to read the statement. There are two kinds of organizations that take in animals. One is an animal shelter that's typically operated by a government entity, typically only accepts animals brought in through animal control. It offers eligible animals for adoptions, but sometimes it does have a high euthanasia rate just because of space limitations. The other organization is a humane society, such as ours. It's a private charitable corporation that accepts healthy owner-surrendered animals, seeks out new homes for these animals. Now, when I say owner-surrendered, that does include animals from the public, like stray animals. Owner-surrendered is just after they've gone through their hold period. Humane societies generally have a lower euthanasia rate, as many are designated as no-kill organizations. We are a no-kill organization. Kind of the problem that we've run into lately is that we've tried to be both organizations at the same time. Unfortunately, when we're at full capacity, we cannot accept owner-surrendered animals or animals from the public that are strays because we have a contractual obligation to give animal control those animals priority. Because we're the holding facility for animal control, some of the animals received from them must be held due to pending court cases. These animals do remain in our care until the animal is released by the court. In some instances, this has been close to or just over a year. We're currently housing over 135 court animals, and that has required animal control to now house animals in another location. As of today, I believe they have close to 30 or 35 animals at their location. As space becomes available and it's safe to do so, they are notified to bring dogs over. So we do try to rotate them out as quickly as we can. It is very stressful for everyone when we can't accept animals from the public.
Hey, Tracy.
Yes.
Pull that mic up to you, Lord. See if we can get a little more volume.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry. Another reason that we are frequently at capacity is that our board is adamant that we maintain a no-kill facility. We do not euthanize animals to create additional space. This policy contributes to our space problems, but I do believe that most McCracken County residents would prefer that we operate that way. We realize that we are requesting a significant increase in the county's fee for our services. We have just completed a 4-year contract, which was negotiated toward the end of the pandemic. When the contract was signed, our starting wage rate was $13 an hour. When the economy reopened, fast food and box store companies began paying $15 and $16 an hour, some even more than that, which forced us to increase our starting wage to $15, which is still our starting rate now. Because of that increase, we had to increase the compensation of the existing employees. I am proud that we do offer some perks for our employees. We do have single health insurance coverage to 6 full-time employees. These costs have greatly increased over the last 4 years. I'm sure you guys are aware. Y'all's stuff has gone up too for the city, for the county, personal stuff. The cost of other insurance and our supplies have increased as well. The county has maintained paying the same fee for the last 4 years of the contract. In 2024, we had a net operating loss of $114,000, with 44.1% of all intakes to our facility originating through animal control. In 2025, we had a net operating loss of $150,000, with 62% of all intakes coming in through animal control. We simply cannot continue to serve as the county's animal shelter without an increase in our fees. We do everything we can to find good homes for the animals in our care. We do not have plans to increase our size because we do lack the resources to expand, and we don't have the operating revenue, even with the county's added fee, to maintain the increased overhead. If the county chose to build its own animal shelter, it would cost well over $1 million, and the yearly operating cost would greatly exceed $350,000. Our total cost of operation for 2025 was $800,000. County employees would cost more than our private sector employees, even with the requested increase in fees. I believe that we offer an excellent service to the county at a reasonable cost. The contract before you has some revisions. We have eliminated the cost of living increase for the county's fee, so the county will pay the same amount in both years of the contract. We have added a provision in which we agree to give the county quarterly reports concerning the number of animals acquired during the quarter, the outcome of those animals, and income and expenses for the period. Thank you for your attention. I am very happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions?
Tracy, I appreciate the information you sent me. It
Sure.
really helped. Again, it was just kind of vetting to make sure I understood everything that went on. It wasn't meant to be negative or
Sure,
challenging,
no,
but
yeah.
it was very good in the finances and all. I appreciate all that information.
Sure, you're
And
welcome.
I think you're right. If we had to do our own animal shelter, it would be at least that, probably more, because when the county had their own shelter, 6, 7 years ago, I think it was costing well over $300,000 then, and it wasn't nearly the quality of what you've got. But I appreciate the information and now a good understanding of what you're trying to do. I think one thing that I was impressed, you have a pot of money that's invested, that you get a lot of income from that every year. It's not just sitting there not earning interest. That helps
Right.
to fund $70,000, $80,000 a year or so.
Yes.
I think I always look at that when I see that bank balance that raises a red flag for this one raised a green flag, because I think it's good to have
Right.
that money. So I appreciate all the information
Sure.
you gave
Sure.
and all the cooperation.
You're welcome.
So, thank you for giving me a tour.
You're
last
welcome.
week. So about 75% of the animals that I saw last week are related to the one case. Is that about right?
Roughly, yeah. Mhm.
And that's, I'm gonna call it the Wiener case, the Wiener dog
Yeah.
case. And I'm assuming, so that's 134 Wiener dogs, right?
Mhm.
That's what
Close to it, yes.
some of them look like pretty cool dogs.
Mhm.
But is there a way to, I know you've submitted some restitution costs and things, but for that case, would you be here asking for more money?
Honestly, probably so. This isn't the first large court case that we've had. It's the first well-publicized larger court case that we've had. But David Howery, he's been in the news a couple of times in the last couple of years. We got dogs from both of those cases, and we were already at capacity when that happened. We got quite a few Great Pyrenees that came in. We actually had to house them outside in temporary kennels because we were over capacity at that point. So it's just, there's an increase in the number of court cases and the number of animals associated with each court case.
So the questions I had our last meeting, I think you pretty much answered them. Going over and looking at the contract, it's pretty black and white. You mentioned about capacity. You guys are at capacity now.
We're over capacity, yes. Mhm.
So, and you said that you weren't looking at expanding, pretty much landlocked out there, or?
No, not at all. We actually have quite a bit of acreage that we could build something on. The problem is, it is very hard to staff the size kennel that we have now. It's hard to keep staff. The overhead where we're at now, if we were to add kennels, it's kind of like the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. It would just, if I added 100 more kennels, I'm going to have 100 plus more dogs in those kennels. Adoptions are not happening at the rate that they need to keep up with adding more kennels. So then we would just be sitting on more animals. It would just be a Band-Aid. The real issue is addressing the overpopulation in McCracken County, and we are expanding to do that. We have a surgical suite. Right now it's temporary, but we are looking to build in the future to have a more permanent surgical facility that will allow us the space to be able to offer a low-cost spay and neuter program for residents of McCracken County.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I should add, I stopped by Thursday without telling you, with the intent of making an appointment to come back on Friday, and you said, no, I'm ready. And the facility, well, it looked, I came in 2019 as well, and I noticed a number of improvements from that time. And,
There's always improvements to be made.
well,
Always
I
things
think
we want to
at that time
do.
we were still in construction phase, hadn't had
Right.
the garage doors. It looked good.
Thank you.
Strong presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
I noticed in this contract that animals that are court-ordered animals over 60 days will be paying $5 a day. Do we pay that fee now, or is that
No.
something new?
No, it is new, and it does reflect on how long we've had most of these court cases, and we haven't received any restitution. We haven't gotten any restitution since I took over in 2021 for any of the court cases that we've had. Even if it's awarded, we don't get it. So that is one way that we can offset, because I didn't bring the math with me, but it's over $368,000 at this point if I were charging the person that actually owns the dogs boarding for those dogs.
So we will be assuming the role of restitution.
So the idea behind that is that once it goes through the court system, that can be added at the court level and not at our level.
Right.
So,
So then it would be up to us to try to get the county attorney to get restitution
right.
from whomever. In this current court case with 100-some dogs, I think the judge's ordered, 80-some thousand dollars would have to be paid. Will that go to you?
It's
or
like
will that come to the
67,
county?
I believe.
Are we paying for any of the cost of that now?
Not currently, no. I think 10-something would go to the county, and then we would get 67, I think, was
If we give it
the
to you.
awarded. Yeah, if we, yeah.
No, we would. I'm just-
Seems like we had some overtime or something early on in the case.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we're going to reimburse for. Well, you're right. We don't want to be a county government without you, because we don't want to run an animal shelter.
It's hard work.
I think the deputy judge and judge said we probably get more calls about dogs and cats than we do anything else. So we don't want to get more.
Right.
I'm thinking we need a commissioner to be like the dog czar. Like somebody on my left. In this general vicinity.
Well, after the election, we'll decide that.
Interesting, and not a lot of cats. Oh, yeah. I don't know if anybody cares, but I was intrigued by that.
Yeah, so I started as the cat lady, actually, in 2019, and flip-flop the number of dogs that you saw with number of cats. Like, we had so many cats. They were in every single room of the facility. They were lined up multiple ways in every room. We didn't have a TNR program, which Trap, Neuter, Return. It's a program for feral cat colonies. So somewhere around 2020, I believe, is when we brought that back. So people in McCracken County, if you have a feral colony of 2 or more, you can come and get reduced rate spays and neuters. A lot of the kittens that people would come in with, these tiny baby kittens, because the feral cats in the neighborhood had them, brought them up on the porch or under their garage or whatever, and we would get those cats. And not every cat that's out wandering around is feral, obviously, and so we would also get some that they thought were kind of wild, but when they got them in there, they were pretty tame, and we could adopt those out. But because we brought that program back, we're not seeing as many cats.
Okay.
So it's a good problem to have.
Program's
yeah.
working.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else? All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, item 5.
We need a motion to remove the,
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of removing from the table, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It-
Let me see, well, go ahead and read it, then
Okay.
I got one other thing.
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to sign a 2-year contract with the Humane Society for contract with a first-year total of $350,000 to be paid in 12 monthly installments of $29,167. Contract is for animal services related to the county's animal control department.
Motion.
Second.
So how do we reflect that, so this is not the same contract that was on the table and on the agenda last meeting?
Yeah. So we need a motion to amend the contract to remove, in the second line there, where it says, with the Humane Society for contract, remove the words with a first-year total of $350,000. Remove the with a first-year total.
We have
Bill-
a copy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Bill lobbied the chair of the board, and you got him to agree to remove the consumer price index, which resulted in that need to say first-year total. And so now it would say just total of the contract. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Go ahead. If you want to explain it, go ahead.
Yeah, I think after it was presented last week, there was some concern about having a COLA automatic increase in there. We don't do that with any other contracts we have. Since this is a 2-year contract, we come back and renegotiate later on. I talked to Mark Whitlow about that, and he was agreeable to removing that portion of it. Also was agreeable to making quarterly reports to the fiscal court regarding their activities, and that's in this new version of the contract that we have that's in our packets. The updated one is in our packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a question, an administrative question. The city pays a prorated portion of the amount we pay to the Humane Society. Is that correct, Steve?
Correct.
And are they agreeable to have they been informed of this new contract, and they agreeable to that?
They have received.
Okay. Is there any objection to it, or does it?
I haven't heard this.
Do we have to do anything different with our interlocal agreement with them, or?
We have to submit a budget
Okay.
to the city of Paducah.
Okay.
And I believe that's by April 1st, May.
So from now till July 1st, they will pay based on the old fee, is that right? Or will they be assessed based on the new one that goes into effect March 1st?
It'll be based upon the new one that goes into effect. And the new budget will be based upon that one.
And they pay a rate based on where the animals come from, right? If they're
The
city
percentage of
animals.
calls
Right, okay.
in the city and county, that's correct.
And that new portion of the contract is the $5 a day for court ordered. Will they have to share that if it's a city case that, if they get animals from the city and they have to pay the $5 a day cost? Well,
I have not thought that one through yet, Commissioner.
anyway, I mean, that still will pay their portion, is that right?
Correct.
Which is what, 60%, is that right?
I believe that's what it was last year. Is that correct? Okay,
So it's $5 per dog?
that's correct. After 60 days. And 60 days, from what I've heard in the past, is not, take out the alt case, is about average for how long the dogs are there.
So 100 dogs is $5,000 a day? Did I do that right? Or
$100 is $500.
500, I'm sorry.
That's why you're an attorney. And
I was
not a
doing lawyer math. Okay, all right.
Good try, though.
All right, okay. So should we put the word revised before 2-year contract and then strike the words first and year so that we know that we've changed the contract in our work?
Let's see. What are you talking about? So on the
Put revised there
Agenda.
and take out first year.
I've got to
All right.
sign a 2-year revised contract, is that what you're saying?
Right, so I'll move that we insert the word revised between A and the word to
Okay.
in the first line and delete the words first year in the second line.
So that will make it being a contract with a total of $350,000. But it's gonna be a yearly total of 350,000, right?
Right.
Okay,
Yeah,
so-
maybe you're
So,
right.
so it'd be just with a yearly total?
Yeah, so instead
Oh,
of deleting
okay.
it, we'll substitute the word yearly.
Okay.
Good point.
Okay. There's the motion to do that. Bill second. Bill second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
And that just clarifies we're approving the contract that's in our packets this time, right? We realized.
Okay, court orders?
It is ordered that the Court Order 6F approved on February 9th, 2026, authorizing the treasurer to pay $145,312.24 to the Paducah McCracken County Riverport Authority be rescinded. It is further ordered that the treasurer is authorized to pay $145,312.24 to the Paducah McCracken County Riverport Authority for 1/2 of the debt payment for equipment loans from 01-5076-548 Triple Rail Site.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
Judge, do we have to approve the motion on the Humane Society? We took it off the table and we clarified what the motion is, but we haven't approved the motion.
We approved the amendment. We do need to get a final vote
we
for the
didn't-
motion
we need a
itself.
final
I'm sorry.
vote on that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right,
So moved.
so there's the motion to approve that as amended.
Correct.
Bill's
So moved.
second on that.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
Very good.
All right, thank you.
It is hereby ordered that E911 parcel fee appeals as determined administratively by the Judge Executive's Office and the Joint 911 Parcel Fee Appeals Board be approved for refunds as shown on the attached list. It is further ordered that the McCracken County Treasurer be authorized to pay property owners for the refunds.
So,
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the treasurer is authorized to pay $33,050.26 from 01-9200-999 contingent appropriations to Communications International for 5 single-band radios and 4 mobile front-mount radios for the new 911 radio system. The radios will be used by the McCracken County Coroner's Office.
Motion.
second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the Judge Executive is authorized to sign a resolution supporting the acceptance of specified roads into the county road system from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the treasurer is authorized to pay Walter F. Stevens Jr. Incorporated in the amount of $274 for commendation bars. The cost is from the Federal Drug Forfeiture Fund.
So
Motion.
moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered to pay the invoice dated January 12th, 2026 to Commercial Door and Hardware for the Sports Complex project in the amount of $3,900. This is pursuant to the interlocal cooperation agreement dated September 7th, 2022 between the City of Paducah, Kentucky, the County of McCracken County, Kentucky, and the Sports Tourism Commission. As per the interlocal agreement, the City of Paducah pays half of the invoice to McCracken County.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
No. That carries.
It is ordered to pay the invoices dated February 11th, 2026 to Varsity Scoreboards for the Sports Complex project in the amount of $340,229.50. This is pursuant to the interlocal cooperation agreement dated September 7th, 2022 between the City of Paducah, Kentucky, the County of McCracken County, Kentucky, and the Sports Tourism Commission. As per the interlocal agreement, the City of Paducah pays half of the invoice to McCracken County.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered to pay the invoice dated January 21st, 2026 to James Sanders Nursery for the Sports Complex project in the amount of $36,977.06. This is pursuant to the interlocal cooperation agreement dated September 7th, 2022, between the City of Paducah, Kentucky, the County of McCracken County, Kentucky, and the Sports Tourism Commission. As per the interlocal agreement, the City of Paducah pays half of the invoice to McCracken County.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
No, that carries.
It is ordered that the Judge Executive is authorized to execute the service agreement with Government Utilities Technology Services Incorporated, or GUTS, for the processing, printing, and mailing of the 2026 McCracken County property tax bills.
So,
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no, that carries.
It is ordered that the Judge Executive is authorized to execute the agreement with Channel Bound LLC for ACA Prom to provide 1095C and 1094C processing to maintain compliance with the Affordable Care Act.
Motion.
second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
No,
So that's preparing the paperwork we get in our taxes. Got it. Right. Can I ask that we go back to D?
okay.
So we just simply said acceptance of specified roads. I assume that those are the roads that Randy emailed us about. And there's,
Yeah, it's one road. It's Kentucky 63. It's a frontal road on Old Husband's Road near where the that sports the fish place and it's in the kind of the Farley area of I-24.
Oh, Husband's Road next to the
I'm
apartment.
sorry, I missed, so there's a,
Farley dealership.
there's a resolution that,
There's just one road. We've done a whole bunch of them. But
we did a bunch of them last time, and it seems like we actually specified them in our order, but I guess we, okay, I'm satisfied, thanks. I did,
You good?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Ordinance?
Second reading, McCracken County, Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, ordinance number 2026-01. An ordinance amending the insurance premium tax ordinance number 2020-01 by reducing the tax amounts on certain categories of insurance. Summary, the action taken in the present ordinance is authorized by KRS 91A.080 and operates to amend the insurance premium tax ordinance, McCracken County Ordinance 2020-01. This ordinance reduces the tax on premiums received by insurance companies for the categories of both automobile and life insurance from the current 6.9% to 4.9% with an effective date of July 1st, 2026. The reduction of this tax is a result of McCracken County now being in a sound financial position and the fiscal court's determination to take measured action to reduce the tax burden on McCracken County residents and businesses whenever practical and always in accord with principles of sound fiscal management. Further, this ordinance establishes an annual practice of the McCracken County local government reviewing the insurance tax premium tax rates for possible further reduction. Lastly, this ordinance operates to change the remittance address of the McCracken County Treasurer for insurance premium tax documents to P.O. Box 2285, Paducah, Kentucky 42002-2285. Certification, it is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2026-01. Public inspection, ordinance number 2026-01 shall be available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Well, I did want to point out, so sometimes it's hard to know whether your taxes are high or low in comparison as to what they should be. This is a significant reduction of taxes, making all of our tax levels on insurance premiums 4.9. That only means something if you compare it to other communities and what they charge, so that you can tell whether we're doing good in comparison. We call these cousin communities because they're similar to us. Henderson is a cousin community. They charge 9.75 on the insurance premium tax. We're charging now 4.9. Hopkins County, Madisonville is a cousin county. They're charging 10%. We're charging 4.9. Not a cousin county, but a close county, Carlisle County, is charging 4%. We're charging 4.9. That doesn't then compare to the numbers of cities that charge, and I think there are about 300 cities in the state of Kentucky that also charge the insurance premium tax, and we are generally below all of the cities that charge the insurance premium tax with our new tax rate of 4.9. So I think it's something we can be proud of, that we're managing the county's money the best we can, and we're making this fair reduction, and with more work, more progress, maybe we can do it again.
Good thing.
And I will say, I get to tease these guys because I'm the one guy unopposed for this election, which may or may not make me the fact finder. But there has never been a time in our county, and all the candidates, I think, need to make sure what they're saying is truthful, and these amounts are significant. There's never been a 7.5 insurance premium tax in our county. Just hadn't been one. We did go 6.9 on 2 categories, and now, but the other 4 categories were 4.9, and that was 6 years ago. And now we are down to 4.9 on all 6 categories. So.
I want to say also that, it was just something we had to do to generate revenue because we were in such a poor financial condition. I think we also, at that time, it was we three and Jeff Parker and Commissioner Abraham joined us later in the last election. But when we set our minds to what are we going to do once we were elected back 7 years ago, we decided we're going to do everything we can possible to build this county, this community up, and be fiscally conservative, spend taxpayer money wisely, and we did that, and now we're able to go back and having been conservative and brought in a lot of other jobs and projects, we are now able to take that revenue and reduce the tax burden on our citizens. And with what's coming now, of course, what's coming now has just raised its head in the last year, really, to actually be coming with the global laser enrichment and General Matter, both enriching uranium, the 200,000 tons of uranium sitting out there at the DOE site on a parking lot, enough nuclear fuel to feed the United States entire country need for decades to come. The uranium deconversion company that's not yet been selected but will. I feel certain that this AI data center is coming, along with a power source being built out for it. All of those things are going to really transform this community into just an economic development powerhouse in western McCracken County. It's going to be unbelievable what's going to happen out there with thousands of construction workers coming in for several years and building all these plants and all the infrastructure out. And then, we don't know the number of employees to manage to work for decades at those facilities, certainly 1,000 or more to maintain them. And then we also have had a lot of activity at our triple rail site, our golden egg, or whatever you want to call it. I heard, as y'all did at Frankfurt last week, Rocky Atkins refer in general terms to, if this thing goes at triple rail that's looking real hard at us, he said, that's a doozy. And he's right, it is a doozy. And I think we may be seeing something on that very soon. That's something that's still not confirmed, but may be, and it may be very soon. And so with all of that and all that revenue coming into the community, to the schools, to the county, to the taxing districts, all the fire departments, the library, the health department, there's no doubt in my mind that, and as we put in this ordinance, a requirement that we look annually to see, all right, where are we now? How much more, if any, can we reduce these taxes every year? And I'm just confident as I can be that seeing the revenue coming from these businesses, these projects, that we can continue to take the load off the citizens having to pay these property taxes. I think, I'll just say extremely substantial reductions, and we will certainly be doing that in the next few years with all this that's coming forward. So it's an exciting time. It's we scrapped and we dug and we looked at everything we could possibly do. We didn't pave some roads that needed paving. We didn't do some other things that cost money. We never got to the point we had to start laying people off, but we were right there. And so it's a great success story, and we were able to put that together along with our staff and our teams and the people we worked with. So we all pulled together and got that done, and that success will keep rolling in the next few years. So proud of everybody that's taking part in that.
Judge, I think it's important to note that 7 years ago, we've all said this many times, but we had less than $1 million in the bank. We probably had 2 or 3 months worth of cash in the bank to pay our bills, and if we had some kind of catastrophe, we would have run out of money. I think we need to take a look at what we've been able to do since we did this, since we imposed the insurance premium fee. We were 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years ago, we were able to give the sheriff deputies an average overall increase of 20%. We wouldn't have been able to do that. We're going to be able to give them an increase again this year, hopefully, significant increase because we've got that revenue. We were able to have money to do some important work at the Triple Rail site to make it shovel-ready. Everybody agreed that was a great site, but when people came in and looked at it, it needed 1 or 2 years worth and $3 or $4 million worth of work to get ready to do anything. So companies that came in, they went elsewhere to communities where there were shovel-ready sites. So that site is now shovel-ready, and that's why we have a major company on the riverbank out there about ready to hopefully make a decision on that. We were able to make improvements to the all of the parks in McCracken County. We spent $500,000 improving the lights at Reedland. We paved the parking lot at Reedland. We put in batting cages at Reedland. Out at Heath, we put in a pickleball court. We put up fencing. We put up trees. We just made a lot of changes out there to make it much better. We couldn't have done that if we hadn't approved this tax. In Lone Oak, we made improvements to add playground equipment. We helped, I think, do some other work out there. There was a drainage problem that we helped fix. We wouldn't have been able to do that if we didn't have this tax. We were able to get our, as you mentioned, the paving program. We had not done any paving or significant paving other than what the state provided funds for a couple of years. I think we were spending somewhere around $1 million a year for paving. We had to cut that out for a couple of years because of our funding, and now we've got that back on track to get our roads back in shape again. One thing I didn't know, I was at a seminar, and they mentioned the impact of a county's finances on economic development. Our bond rating had dipped to a low level that we were on, I don't know what you call it, a watch list, but we were at a negative bond rating, which hurt. I was told that industry is one of the first things they look at. It's on their check sheet. They look at the financial condition of the local governments to see if you have a progressive government or a government that's just kind of holding its own. And when they look at our bond rating now, it's got a high bond rating. That helps convince companies that we have progressive government officials who are willing to make the tough decision to raise the money they need to properly fund government. They don't want to come in and if you're in financial trouble, they come in and they might be fearful that the first thing you're going to do is tax them to raise money. So
probably none of us really liked imposing a new fee to raise money, but we had no choice. And it wasn't anything this fiscal court did to get us in financial trouble. We had a property valuation administrator who did not properly assess property. There were properties that had not been reassessed to the proper value for 15, 20 years or more. We had properties that were not that were improved, but the new improvements on it were not included in the tax rolls, and that multiplies. I know of one case where there was a vacant lot out near the mall area where they made improvements on it, increased the value of that property over $1 million, and that was not added to the tax rolls. And that multiplies. If you miss it this year, you miss it next year and the year after that. So that helped cause some of the financial problems. We also had fiscal courts that in the past, they funded some worthy projects through bond issues, but they didn't have the revenue to pay for those bonds, like the Murray State University building. That was obviously a worthy project that helps the community, but when they approved that bond issue, they didn't have the revenue to pay that. So they had to go, I think at one time there was close to $10 million reserve fund. So over a 15 or 20 year period, that reserve fund went down to nearly zero. It's kind of like buying, if you go out and buy a new car, you don't have the money to pay for it, and you take it out of your savings account, eventually your savings account's going to be empty, and our savings account was empty because those decisions were made. But again, it was a tough decision, and we promised when we imposed the fee that we would take a look at it, and now that's what we're doing, looking at this year. And as the judge said, next year we're probably going to be able to even do more and make it even better. But again, I think the public, for the most part, understood what we did and why we did it. I think they understand the benefits that have come to the community through that. Another project we had was the airport terminal. So we did everything from putting in a dog park in Reedland to funding helping fund the airport terminal and the triple rail site. So this fee has really benefited the community and will make it better for all of us in the long run.
Yeah, I think it's important to add to this discussion that we have changed our administrative code to reflect that we're basically going to maintain a 50% reserve of our county budget, and so that would pay for 180 days, right, of government, as opposed to the 10 days of government we could have paid for in November of 2018. So we're not starting a race to how low can we go without some self-imposed wisdom of maintaining 50% reserve for future generations of our county, so that the next folks that get these chairs don't end up in the same position we were. And significant to this issue, I think, if it passes, and maybe it will, one of the burdens our county has that other counties don't have. Now, some counties do, but not as many. Probably only about 15 counties carry the burden we carry, and that is having to maintain an active jail in a community where you're kind of the capital of a region. So you're the place where we're the place where people drive to get a DUI. We're the place where people drive to steal from the mall, and so they get charged and they get put in jail, and we maintain that jail. Some communities, because they don't have a lot of crime, are able to sell their beds and make money. We're not one of those communities, and for the last 2 decades, generally, the jail cost this community $3 to $4 million a loss every year, and that's a price that we have paid as taxpayers that benefits the state responsibilities, because most of those crimes are state crimes. They're not there because of violating county ordinance. And I believe this legislature is set to try and help alleviate the cost that counties like us are having to pay for that incarceration. So that could be helpful news as well.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Right. Any other discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
Aye.
That carries. I had notified the gentleman. Oh, we've got one more. We've got a first reading left here.
Yes, sir.
Let's do that then. Then I got something else.
First reading, Commonwealth of Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, Ordinance Number 2026-02. An ordinance amending McCracken County Ordinance Number 2025-09 by setting forth an updated salary and classification table to reflect the additional position of an elections clerk trainee. Summary, the action taken in the present ordinance is authorized by KRS 67.380 and operates to amend the current salary and classification table of the McCracken County Clerk's Department as set forth in Ordinance Number 2025-09. The amendment operates to add the position of elections clerk trainee to be funded until February 1st, 2027. Certification, it is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of Ordinance Number 2026-02. Public inspection, Ordinance Number 2026-02, shall be available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Supposed to say motion to,
Now, this one is just a motion and a second, so we don't have to motion to acknowledge or anything like that. It's just,
but it's a first reading.
it's a first reading, yes.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yep.
So we don't actually vote on it.
Just motioning acknowledges it.
I got you. All right. Okay.
Any discussion we need to have about it before we have the second reading in the next meeting? We're good.
With me.
All right. I had notified you gentlemen that if you wanted to, we could discuss there's a proposed 911 ordinance amendment. It has several different changes proposed in it. The city's going to address it tomorrow night. We put it off from last meeting because I had not had time, and I don't think you had time to look at it either. There's no real rush on it. I thought if y'all have had time to look at it, if you're good with making the amendments, we can go forward. I'd really rather not get in a debate about it or spend a lot of time on it because we've got a fairly lengthy executive session. Are you prepared to make a decision on it tonight, or you need a little more time to look at it?
So it's not on our agenda, so we couldn't make a decision anyway, right? Okay.
Well, I think we could. I mean, we just have to come up with I wouldn't really want to do that. I want to see, at most, are we all, or at least three of us, the majority of us, on board with it. If we can't tell that right now, we just bring it back on the next meeting.
I think it looked to me like it's mainly just a cleanup.
Yeah, pretty much.
To clean up some areas. There's no increases. One thing I was glad to see on there was adding the provision that public housing would be charged by the unit, not by the property. I think that was an issue before. I'd like to look it over some more, but I think for the most part, it's just a cleanup amendment.
Okay.
I got an email, I'm sure you did too, from Bill Dunn. I don't know if you saw it or not. It sent out late today about that there's nobody who's in charge to make sure that the 911 fee gets on the tax bill. It's not specified who's responsible for that. He said he does that voluntarily, but he said it's not specified as to who is really responsible to make sure that the 911 fee gets in the tax bills. That may be something you want to talk to him about.
I haven't had time to look at the emails this afternoon, but
but anyway, it might be
maybe
something
we want to put that on there.
Talk to the city about or find out, just to clarify who's responsible for doing that.
Okay.
So I think it would be helpful to have the discussion when we have it as to, all right, what was the cost of 911? What did the fee generate? And did it cover? I seem to remember there was a CPI in the fee, so the fee will go up because the CPI went up, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't know if we've got to do that. I'm not going to try and tank the ordinance. I voted against it back when we voted, when we were there. I still think that there is a problem with I think they improve it in the sense that because this is a user fee, it's not a tax. So all users have to pay the fee. They are now at least adding some users who were not paying the fee.
That's a good thing.
Which was unfair, that
Right.
there was a group that just somehow evaded having to pay the fee. They, not purposely, just because the words didn't capture them. I think it doubles down on the issue of occupied real estate, now making it occupiable, and whether that's a user fee or not. But nobody has filed a challenge to the ordinance that y'all passed. So that's significant. So I'm not going to let, I still think there's a better way, but I'm not going to let perfection get in the way of progress. And I'm certainly not going to lead an effort to change what we have in place without a substitute plan.
Well, we'll put it on for next meeting, that way everybody got plenty of time. And
Yeah, I think it'd be helpful to do it when our county attorney is here, because
Yeah.
he apparently was involved in the negotiations to put together
Yeah.
the ordinance there now, so.
Okay. All right. Need a motion to go into executive session. Let's see what is that G?
Motion.
Yeah, we need a motion to go into executive session for a specific proposal by a business entity where public discussion on the subject matter would jeopardize the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a business entity as permitted by KRS 618101G. I heard a motion, and there's a second.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
I move we adjourn.
We won't take any, action, so the motion to adjourn, upon completion of the executive session. That's that. Second.
Yes.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, so we will come back and just adjourn. Won't take any other action tonight, for those who have something they prefer to do and sit in here. Me, I adjourn.